Good morning, day traders, and welcome to Market Minute, a hedge fund trader's technical analysis of the stock market for March 16th, 2022. Let's get after it. So today's FOMC, right? That means we're anticipating this market to be relatively choppy until this 2 p.m., 2:30 timeframe when Powell speaks. We're not sure what the Fed's going to do exactly here. We don't know if they're going to hike by 25 basis points, 50 basis points, 1,000 basis points, or if they're not going to hike at all, right? Obviously, expectation, I think, or most realistic outcome here is a 25 basis point hike, and then maybe them very clearly outlining what they want to do for rest of the week, or rest of the year, sorry. This morning, right, we seem to be getting quite a significant gap up across the board. And this gap up is very hard to trust as sort of this narrative change has not really happened here yet. So it seems like we're gapping up, anticipating a good FOMC, right, or sort of a positive reaction from FOMC, but that narrative hasn't come out, right? That macro perspective has not changed here yet officially, so hard to trust this move yet. We're opening up very much in the middle of our ranges across the board, right? And on this SPY, we're looking for sort of gap and fades versus gap and goes, especially before that 2:30 time frame. Very similar narrative here on QQQ. We're getting a little bit of a gap up, right? But, on our 30-minute time frames, we're more interested in sort of gap and goes back towards this sort of top line, midline, bottom line, versus looking for that continuation breakout, right? Continuation breakout certainly becomes interesting once that news narrative shifts, but until that happens, it's really hard to trust this bullish strength that we're seeing here this morning. Same story here on Apple, right? Decreasing daily volume, strong daily candle, kind of a mixed narrative, right? Mixed narrative plus gap up plus going into a news event where no one really knows exactly what's going to happen just creates a lot of indecision, right? Indecision generally not very bullish. So let's look for gap and fades, right? Back down towards that 156 target. Tesla, similar narrative as Apple, right? Decreasing volume, right? Strong candle, gap up. So again, right? 2 out of 3 not really giving us that perfect setup here this morning. Definitely looks like there's a lot of space, right? Especially towards that 850 mark, but you need to be a little bit cautious of this trend line here that seems to be developing, right? We can kind of stretch this all the way out, right? So we got quite a long ways we can go, but let's just be relatively conservative, right? And kind of looks like there's resistance at this like 830, right? 834, something along those lines. So not a ton of room here pre-FOMC either. Now, if we can break over that 850, then it can run right towards that 900, but I think there's a little bit of caution, even though this looks relatively open. Microsoft, right, a little bit of a gap up, right, good strong volume increasing, so at least this gives me a little bit of strength, but same narrative here as that Tesla where there's a little bit of a barrier here at this, say, 295, right, 297 zone, which could limit Microsoft's potential. Our two bullish outliers here this morning are going to be AMD and NVIDIA, right? AMD certainly looks like if it can break over that 113.40, has a lot of room up towards that 116.50. And then NVIDIA, if we can get over that 240.55, has a lot of room up towards that 247. But again, right, need to be a little bit cautious here. Only reason these look a little bit more interesting is that because on days where you had a lot of kind of bullish strength, right? Like this March 8th, like here, right, March 8th, where we had a lot of bearish strength, right? AMD and NVIDIA aren't giving us those similar candles, right? So we don't have that bearish narrative that we have to sort of overcome, which makes it a little bit easier for us to be bullish here today. Again, though, right, maybe looking for a gap and fade if this, if we don't get really strong market here this morning, and it's going to be really hard to anticipate a pump in market prior to this FOMC here at 2 p.m. So that's how I plan on dominating today's market. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to follow my day trades live, you can trade with me all day live on YouTube today, and that'll be live directly after this video. So hope you guys have a great trading day. Stay sharp out there, and see you all tomorrow for the next Market Minute.